Caitlin Clark just put an absolute beating on the New York Liberty, 106-92.
Her size on Kelsey Mitchell.
Clark sheds her, fires, and hit.
You need to put a body on.
Clark connects on a deep three.
6 WNBA records broken in a single night. A 28-foot three-pointer over Breanna Stewart that triggered the fastest path to 1,600 career points in league history. 16 threes on 25 attempts as a team. 79% from three in the first half alone. A franchise record. Mitchell with 28, Boston with 19, and Clark orchestrating all of it with 22 points and 10 assists on a night Indiana never trailed and never let New York closer than 9 in the fourth quarter. The Liberty had gone 8-1 since their last meeting with Indiana. On Tuesday, they ran into a team that has figured out exactly who it is, and what happened before the game made the result even more remarkable. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications right now, because what happened on Tuesday night in Indianapolis is the most complete performance this team has put together all season. Here is what White actually said before the game, because this was not a coach going through the motions. This was a coach who has had her job called into question by elected officials, mainstream sports media, and her own fan base, and who walked to that podium and said exactly what she needed to say.
The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Said 2 hours before tip-off of a nationally televised ESPN game, White has been called out by her own lieutenant governor, by Dave Portnoy, by Linda Cohn, by fans who booed her before warm-ups in her own building. And her response was to walk to a podium and say, "This league will not be divided and everybody else can go to hell." That is a coach who has been through the fire of everything this season has produced and has come out the other side swinging. Whether you agree with everything she has said and done this year or not, then there is plenty to debate. That pre-game speech is what a leader sounds like when they have nothing left to lose and everything left to prove. And then her team went out and proved it. Clark had 22 points and 10 assists. Mitchell had 28. Boston added 19 and 7 rebounds. Cunningham hit 4 threes and added 12 points. Indiana shot 54% from the field, and in the first half they hit 11 of their 14 three-point attempts, 79% from three in the first half alone. That is a franchise record for three-point percentage in a half. Against the New York Liberty, a team that had gone 8-1 since losing to Indiana by 20 in mid-July. The Liberty came in hot. The Fever were hotter. Now let's talk about what Clark specifically did, because the records she broke on Tuesday do not just show up in a box score. They require context to understand how significant they actually are.
A 2-week road trip, so take it game by game. Our August is really tough. We play a lot of the top teams in the league, so we're going to see what we're made of, and that's what's going to make you ready for the playoffs.
Clark said that after going 4 of 8 from 3 against one of the best defenses in the league, hitting a 28-foot three-pointer over Breanna Stewart with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second quarter, that became the 1,160th point of her career and triggered the first of Tuesday's 6 records. She is now the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,600 career points. Sabrina Ionescu held that record and reached it in 102 games. Clark beat it by a mile. Behind Ionescu on that list are Cynthia Cooper-Dyke at 124 games, Shannon Johnson at 130, and Sue Bird at 139. Clark is not just breaking records, she is breaking them by margins that make the previous record holders look like they were standing still. That same milestone made Clark the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,600 points, 400 rebounds, and 600 assists simultaneously. That triple combination had never been reached faster by any player in the league's 30-year history. The previous record holder was Ionescu. Clark beat it in fewer games, while coming back from a back injury that kept her out for multiple weeks, while managing a minutes restriction through part of the season, while being the subject of trade rumors, coaching controversies, boycotts, and presidential comments. She is breaking all-time records in the middle of the most turbulent season any player in this league has ever navigated, and she is not doing it alone. The third record broken on Tuesday belongs to Clark and Mitchell together.
The score. They destroyed the New York Liberty in one half. Literally one half. They beat the brakes off the New York Liberty.
The most statistically dominant backcourt in WNBA history. Over an 11-game stretch, Mitchell has now scored at least 20 points in 17 straight games, the second longest such streak in franchise history. And Clark is on pace to become the first player in WNBA history to average 20 points and 8 assists per game in a single season. Nobody has ever done that in the 30 years this league has existed. Not Diana Taurasi, not Sue Bird, not Alyssa Thomas, not Courtney Vandersloot. Nobody. Clark is averaging 21.6 points and 8.1 assists right now, with games still remaining. In a season where she missed time with a back injury and has been playing on a minutes restriction. Think about what Indiana just did to a Liberty team that had gone 8-1 since their last meeting. New York entered Tuesday riding the best stretch of their season. Breanna Stewart had 19, Sabrina Ionescu had 19. Both of them, two of the best players in the league, playing at their highest level, and Indiana still won by 14. The Fever never let the Liberty get closer than 9 points in the fourth quarter after leading by 18 at halftime. Clark converted the Liberty's 13 turnovers into 20 points, with Indiana finishing with 16 threes on 25 attempts. That is not a team that got hot and got lucky. That is a team that has figured out who they are and what they do and is doing it better than anyone else in this league right now. And here is the part of Tuesday's story that makes all the records and all the shooting percentages and all the history land differently than they would on any other night. Clark said after the game that she hated hearing her own fans boo Stephanie White before tip-off, that it made her a little sick, that they are going to ride for their coach and always have her back. Sophie added that the locker room is tight and White loves them, and the outside noise does not define what is happening inside that building. This team, which has been through more this season than any team in this league's history, won 7 of its last 9 games. It sits at 21-12, first in the Eastern Conference, and did it on a night when their own fan base booed their head coach and a sitting state official had publicly called for that coach's firing earlier in the week. The Fever are whatever the opposite of falling apart looks like. White told everybody else to go to hell before tip-off. Clark broke 6 records. Mitchell scored 28. And Indiana beat the New York Liberty by 14 in a nationally televised game that the entire sports world was watching. 6 records, 1 statement, and plenty more games left to play. What do you think? Is Caitlin Clark having the greatest individual season in WNBA history? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because Indiana hosts the Dallas Wings on Friday, and this winning streak is not slowing down. We will see you in the next one.